Hi, I'm Shalva with Life is No Yoke, and this week I got the best email from a girlfriend. In it was a challenge. Spoiler alert, challenge accepted. So let's call this the date challenge. Here's what the email said. Shalva, as I mentioned the other day, I love making easy vegan dishes at home. The granola bars below are one of my favorite recipes and should be easy to do with only a few ingredients, but it ends up taking me so much time and energy to make because of the dates. I have to put it in my NutriBullet blender and food processor and do everything in small doses to get it to all mix together. Wouldn't it be great if I could easily put all the ingredients together at once in one machine? The challenge, make the recipe above. Must mix all ingredients at once. Record a video showing proof that it worked as outlined above. The reward, bragging rights for years to come. Val becomes a believer, and Val buys a Vitamix. The question is, are you up to the challenge? Signed, the disgruntled NutriBullet owner, Val. So yes, Val, Life is No Yoke is up to this challenge. We think we can save you a lot of time and energy by using a Vitamix. So this recipe looks awesome. I'm excited to make it. The ingredients look great and healthy. It's from the Minimalist Baker, which I've done a lot of other recipes from, and she's legit. So the only problem with this recipe, like Val said, is that it takes a lot of different steps using a lot of different things. And the easier it is, the more likely you're gonna make it. So Val's challenge is to see if I can make everything in one thing. So instead of using a saucepan, a food processor, likely a blender, and a mixing bowl, I'm gonna see if I can make all of this in our Vitamix 750. So it's a pretty small batch, so I'm using the 34-ounce container. What?
32.
It says 34 on it.
32.
Dang, okay.
That's okay.
I just looked to confirm too.
That's good.
Okay. So this is a pretty small batch. So I'm using our Vitamix Pro 750 with the 32-ounce container so that I can make sure that those dates really break down. So we're calling this the date challenge because not only does Val have this problem, but I've heard a lot of other people wondering if the Vitamix can handle dates. All right, so here's the plan. We are making the Minimalist Baker's super seedy granola bars. We have got pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, oats and almonds, dried cherries, but you could use a number of other sweet ingredients like chocolate chips or raisins, a cup full of pitted dates, maple syrup, you could use honey instead if you'd like, and peanut butter. You guys ready to make it? Okay, so we'll start by adding the syrup and peanut butter, and we're gonna blend this on high for a few seconds to get a good base going for the dates. Next, we'll add the dates. Now, normally it's okay to add ingredients while blending with the Vitamix. You're gonna get that vortex, and anything dropped in goes right through into the middle. It's a beautiful thing. But since the peanut butter and syrup just barely cover the blade, adding dates while the Vitamix is running, in this case, is not a good idea. Think of it like throwing a balloon at a ceiling fan. Doesn't work. So add them all at once, okay? So the lid on, tamper in, place the Vitamix on high speed. This is very important. High speed ensures the Vitamix's thermal protection system turns on. Think extra cooling when it's working hard. Process for about 30 seconds or until you hear a low pitching chugging noise, like this. That noise is good. It's telling you it's done. Okay, the heavy lifting is done. Now we're basically just gonna use the Vitamix as a mixer. This saves us from having to knead it by hand like the recipe tells us to. So we add the seeds and do a few low speed, very short pulses. That's all it takes to mix everything. Okay, last thing, the oats. We'll do the same thing here, add the oats and do a few low speed, very short pulses with a little tamper action. Keep in mind this mixture is very dense and sticky. And since we want to keep some of that texture, we want to pulse on low, a mix, not a homogeneous blend. So it's super thick and dense, and we're using low speed, a setting that doesn't trigger the Vitamix's extra cooling mechanisms. So you have to be a little bit careful. Run the machine on low with this mixture for too long and the machine might get too hot. If that happens, the safety is going to kick in and keep the machine off until it cools a bit. And if that happens, don't worry.
What happened?
The auto off switch is there to protect your machine. Think of it like a fuse. So to avoid this, just keep your low speed pulses very short and to a minimum. Once you're all mixed, put it into a pan, spread it out, and pop it in the fridge for 15 minutes. Then you're all set.
So I've got some great texture in here. There's still some chunks of almonds. There's still full seeds. I can see pumpkin seeds.
They look hearty.
They do look hearty. The cherries are maybe like a little sparse. Maybe I would put more in. There's not a ton on the top layer that I can see. And I love like the little sweet bites when you're doing granola bars. Okay, so we have successfully made the Minimalist Baker's Super Seedy granola bars and a mess using just one machine, the Vitamix. So I'm gonna throw this in the fridge, take it out in 15 minutes, and we'll see how they are. All right, so these have been in the fridge for 15, 20 minutes, and they look perfect, like granola bars. They're a little bit sticky, like a Kind bar or a Cliff bar. They've got that natural granola bar feel, not like those super crumbly ones, but they look awesome. You can see there's like layers of oats. There's a cherry sticking out there. I'd say the hardest part about making these was cutting them into perfect squares, honestly. So I would have to say, Val, the challenge was accepted and I think we won. So I'm really looking forward to teaching you how to use your new Vitamix. Remember to check us out on Life is No Yoke. We'll link out to the Minimalist Baker's recipe for these granola bars, and we've got an awesome recipe for granola bars ourselves. So make sure to check out lifeisnoyoke.com. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. I forgot to eat them. They're like chewy, but have like texture in them. Like they're not all the same. Like you can taste a pumpkin seed, like a full pumpkin seed. And this bite has like a full cranberry in it. Those are really good.
Are they dense?
They're like something you can't really talk with your mouth full, especially on camera. They're super hearty, I think is the word. Like hearty and dense. They're not super peanut buttery or super datey. They're like granola bar-y, if that makes sense. But this would fill me up for like several hours. Like pack one of these, yeah. I wrapped it up in some wax paper. Throw that in your lunchbox. That would keep me full for a few hours for sure.
You have a lunchbox?
I work from home, so I don't have a lunchbox, but I would throw this in my purse like on my way to run errands for the day.
That would work.
That would work. They're really good.
We could get lunchboxes.
That would be hilarious. Yours would have like Superman on it.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. They're really good.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended. Thanks, Val.
Thanks, Val.
That's it.